name is Penny, and I'm from London Coin and Collectables, where Keaton Smith is so handsome and so funny, and Mike Hargis won't let him get away with anything. Okay, Keaton did pay me $20 to say that, but I want you to come on down and check everything out. I think you'll really like it, because we say there at London Coin and Collectables, if it's not a good deal, then it's bad. Spider! Spider! Ah! Spider! Spider! Spider!
Welcome, London Coin and Collectables.
Hello,
it's so
everybody.
good to see you. Thank you for joining us. We do apologize. We've not made a long video in a couple of weeks. Life.
To say the least, yes.
We're both dads, businessmen, and we both are very active in our churches. And so life has just gotten in the way in the past 2 weeks. But we are back with you. And hopefully the shorts that we've been making have kept you occupied and informed and totally up to date on London Coin and Collectables. I want to thank our 48 subscribers.
Yes.
We have grown so quickly on this channel, and thank you so very much for subscribing to us, watching our videos, and liking and all that good stuff. You know how YouTube works. We are absolutely pleased to be here. The shop is doing great. So 110 Lagoon Trail, London, Kentucky, 606-401-7025 if you want to talk to Mike. But come by.
Yes.
He's open just about every day. Most Thursdays he likes to take off, but some Thursdays by appointment he'll come in and see you as well. But on Saturdays from 9 to 4.
Yes, 9 to 4 o'clock on Saturdays.
9 to 4 on Saturdays. So come by and see London Coin and Collectables.
And it's 9 to 5, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then Thursday, if there's need to be an appointment, we'll work with that.
Fantastic. All right. He's got a whole gamut of everything, and he would love for you to come down and take a look. We are blessed this evening to be able to talk about some new verbiage and coin stuff that might be a little bit confusing to the new collector, somebody who's just getting into numismatics. We've actually got some new collectors, and this is a question that has come up quite a bit. What's the difference between clad and proof, circulated and uncirculated? And so we have the expert, Mr. Mike Hargis, here with us today, and we're going to talk about that. He's brought 4 coins that exemplify and show us exactly what those definitions represent. And so we want to bring that to you and talk about a few ideas that happen in numismatics with the clads and the uncirculateds and money and proofs and all that kind of stuff. So
now, uncirculated sometimes becomes circulated.
Yeah, I'll shut up now and let Mr. Mike take over. So what do you got for us today, Brother Mike?
Well, first and foremost, I too want to thank everybody for subscribing. I also want to thank all of our customers and everybody who has started to come by the shop. And we've been very active, and I just want to thank you and tell you that we are very blessed. I thank the Lord for everybody that's come in. And, you can give me a call if you got any questions. And always feel free to stop by the shop and bring your coins in. I've had some that's brought them in to be graded, and they love the idea of their coins being graded. And then they get to take them home and collect them. I've had some that had them graded, then sold them. So it doesn't. You don't have to be selling your coins just to bring them in. I love to talk about coins, but I want to thank everybody that's been stopping in. But so one of the big things that's always asked is the different types of coins. Now we're using the Eisenhower dollar. Now here at London Coins and Collectibles, we have different varieties that have everything you'll hear about today. I have it in the quarter and in the half dollar. And you have it in the dime as well. So this is not just to this denomination of money, but I'm using this because Eisenhower will be very identifiable. It's a good sized coin, and most of you will know it really if you really was growing up in the 60s, the 70s, 80s, 90s. These were our silver dollars. You know, we didn't have Morgans being produced anymore, or the peace dollar. So in 1971, they came out with the Eisenhower dollar. Of course, represents President Eisenhower. Also was the president that did the gold retraction, which I think is funny. He'll always be known for currency and numismatics. But the Eisenhower dollars we'll be using today, we'll be talking about the different types of coins. So what I have here, this is called a Clad coin. What this is a non-silver coin. It is a $1 in currency. This was actually an active currency. It's still actually an active currency today. You actually can still get $1 coins at your banks. Now, they're not as common as they used to be, but you still can get them. Now, when you get something that has been made for circulation, what that means is that this was released from the mints, from the Federal Reserves to the individuals, to banks, so that the banks could to rotate these out for dollar bills. This was an active currency. It still is an active currency. You can spend this as $1, but this has no silver value at all. It is a copper base, and so you now know a little bit more about the nickel finish on it. And so, you know, people call these silver dollars. They're not. They may have the silver type color, but they are actually not silver dollars. Now, with that said, they made silver dollars out of these types of dollars, and they were put out in uncirculated sets. And we're going to talk about some of those right now. So you've got three different varieties. Two varieties of silver, but you've got two types of Clad. So two types of silver, two types of Clad. I'm going to talk about the other type of Clad right now. So you get a good look at the finish, or what they call business finish. If you ever get on there to sell anything on eBay, you have to click what type of finish, and you'll click a business. You'll see some of them have a matte finish. There's different coins that have different types, but the business finish was actually what was supposed to be a circulated coin. Then what they would do, they came out into the mint sets, and this is a bicentennial, a 1776, 1976. Of course, the bicentennial of our country. So here you have got this dollar was put out, and this has got a different finish. I'm going to rotate a little bit so you can see the mirror type finish that's on that. And with that mirror type finish, that is called a proof finish. These were also produced in the San Francisco. So the San Francisco Mint was the one that put these out. And when you look at it, you'll see a total different finish. Now, the proofs were not supposed to be circulated. They were made for uncirculated sets. But there's been a lot of kids since the 70s that popped open mom and dad, or maybe even grandpa and grandpa's later on, their coin sets, and all they really cared about was taking it down there and getting a burger with it, or, you know, because we can't buy nothing for $1 these days, but they used to take these out of the sets, and that's how I have a proof, but now it has been circulated. This was actually inside of circulation. Now, so that's your two types of Clad. You have the standard Clad with a standard finish.
So the standard Clad was meant for us to just spend.
To spend, yes, sir.
But then a proof Clad was meant for us to collect.
To collect, yes, that's exactly right. So
Okay.
you had one that was meant for everyday currency. The other one that you will find proofs out there because people started using them in currency.
Sure. So let me ask you, what's the difference between is it just how much it got polished, or do they actually use a different metal on the proof?
Well, no, they don't use it. It is in the finish of the proof on this one now. But there is. So I want to make sure I'm not overstepping myself. So there is a finish on the proof that we're going to talk about next, and it's going to have a different metal as well. So you've seen one proof, which is this one here. This is a non-silver proof, but then they make a silver proof. This is a 40% silver coin, and this is got the proof finish. Now this one here, it is not in the uncirculated set that it normally, or the mint set that would have came with, but now this one has never been actually in circulation. So this is an uncirculated coin, but it is 40% silver. So you have two proof coins, and you can see a very noticeable difference in the silver versus non-silver. And you can see on the back, especially on the reverses. So you do here, now you have a change in metal. Now you have one that is actually the 40% silver, and this is the proof as well. And they put these out in different proof sets. And now you can also get a silver that isn't necessarily a proof. So just like this Clad one is not a proof, this is a 40% silver Eisenhower. This is a 1974. This would have came in the mint set, but it does not have the proof finish. So you can see the difference even in the silver versus silver of what the difference of what a proof would look like versus a non-proof. So what you have is when you're starting to get into the collection, you have to realize that you have first what is just a standard finish on a coin. Now 1964 and back on the quarter, the dime, and the $50, you're going to have a 90% silver. Then in those same years, I have quarters and stuff. Like I said, this is not only to this denomination. I have a 1961 proof set that has the Benjamin Franklin half in it, and it has got a beautiful proof finish on it. But you have different types of proofs as well that came out in the 40s up until the 64 year. Now what you also have is from 65 to 70, you have a 40% silver in the $50. And in those $50, you still have the silver, and then you'll have a silver proof. Now, you said, what about like the proofs and stuff going forward? Well, they started releasing out the $50 again in the 80s, and what happened was they started putting them out into mint sets, and I have, I've got them up to 2020 or 2020 that I've got the silver, I have the proof, and then I have a silver proof. You have different varieties of those as well. They're all different circulations with different finishes and things that are on them. So what you're looking for is when you want to educate yourself on the coin. So if you're looking, let's say you're wanting to find a Eisenhower silver coin. First of all, what you're going to do is you're going to notice some differences of the edges. I want you to look at one that you can see noticeably a copper edge around it. The other one has a good silver edge. Now, number two is what you're going to do is you're going to come into weight. They do have a different weights. I don't have it right off the top of my head. I looked it up just a second ago. My wife says I ramble, so I'm supposed to write things down or nothing. But you have a different weight. Now, I can always update. You can always feel free to give me a call, and I'll tell you what those different weights are. But what you do is once you see that there's a different weight and there's a different finish as far as the reading on it, you see the edges and you see that it has a full silver edge. Then you may have a silver coin. Now, I tell you this, sometimes Papa put up his 1972 and it was really good shape and really taken care of, and the edge was never worn, and it may come off as an appearance of silver. So it comes down to not just looking visually, but to weigh it and to see if it is silver. Now, also, if you're looking for the proofs, you really want to look for this type of finish. Of course, I'm going to show you the difference between a Clad proof and a silver proof. But you still have that mirror-like finish that's on both of them. And the difference between this proof and the silver proof, once again, will come down to what the edges look like, and also will come down to what their weight is. All of them, the one great thing our mint did is they gave specific weights to these so that they wouldn't become confusing. Now, if you brought your coin down to London Coin and Collectible, we, of course, would wand it for you. I've got my new Sigma will be here this coming week. So when you bring it in, listen, I've already spent the money. I'm a Newsmax dealer, and you don't have to spend that type of money. You can bring it in and say, Mike, I'd like for you to put this on your machine, and I can test it that way. That is the 100% full assurance of knowing what coin you have. But as a individual collector, you may not be able to afford a very expensive one. But what you can do is you can buy like the scales and start becoming familiar with what type of weight each of them have. Because even some of your oddities out there versus circulated, uncirculated, silver, non-silver, become some of your oddities because some got accidentally made into something they weren't supposed to be. And right offhand, the 1965 silver quarter, which is so rare to find, but they are out there, is when they accidentally made a 65 silver quarter that shouldn't be silver. They had a couple of silver planches left over and they got in there. But if you looking for the edges, you're looking for that silver look to it, and then you weigh it, it'd be a good way to find the difference between the coin you thought it was and what may end up being a very nice, pretty payout for you. And I think that's one of the big things too, is the collectability and the pricing of what each of these would be worth with their individual finishes, with what kind of sets they came in, and their rarities as far as mintage as well.
Fantastic. So there are mint varieties in the Eisenhower dollar, just like there are any other denomination. You got a type 1 and a type 2. You have doubling. You have die chip errors. I mean, so all of those things can also play into the value and the collectability of the coin.
Oh yeah. And the easy way to notice a type 1 versus a type 2, I'll give you guys a real quick on that, is actually on the T, and which may be hard for. So a T that comes to a direct point is what we call a type 2. There's some different marks that you look on them. So you do have different varieties. And then, so everybody also associates that it has to be an S mint mark to be silver, like you'll see on the San Francisco here. The mint mark on these are right below the neck. You'll see the mint mark there. But now, that's not always necessarily true, because when they put out some of the uncirculated sets, like this one here, this is a 74. It does not have the S mint mark, but it is of the silver variety.
Fantastic.
But now your S mint mark usually is what you associate. The Eisenhower is kind of a different animal as far as that goes. But can I tell you, listen, they used to send planchets from different mints to different places. So that's why you have double dies. I mean, sometimes you have double mint marks, because they'll take a San Francisco, send it over, and the Denver had to re-stamp it, and it'd be right over that S. And any type of your varieties, you are right, it starts to add more of that numismatic value to it, which we all enjoy. Because if you're really passionate about collecting, sometimes just the oddity is what you really want for your collection.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Brother Mike, that's awesome about the Eisenhower dollar. Is it the largest coin that's ever been produced in the U.S. currency? Do you know?
No, I think it's very comparable. Actually, weight-wise, the Morgans and the peace dollars would actually
About the same?
Would be actually a little bit heavier than these would.
Okay, well, fantastic. I know when you sell I know when you spend one of those, you feel like you're spending something.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's I keep them in bags, and I'm gonna tell you, they are getting rarer and rarer to find. I have had people that say, 4 or 5 years ago, so yeah, you can still get them, but now they're getting less and less common. So it's like anything. The longer it goes along, the less we have of them, the more rare they're going to become. And I'm going to tell you something. They're a part of history. You got to remember the peace dollar. The last peace dollar to be made was the 1935S, if I'm not mistaken. And the 35S, from there until 1971, our country didn't even have a silver dollar. After the 1978 production of these coins, only in type of like the Morgan revamps or the peace dollar revamps, but they were not made for circulation. This is the last dollar that was made in a metal form, not being paper, that was actually used for circulation, which is very important because it doesn't seem like that long ago, 1976, but outside from 1935S, the peace dollar, this is the last large dollar that our currency had made. We've not had one in this size.
Yeah, because the Native American dollar, the presidential dollars, they're all like the size of quarters.
Right. Yeah. They're very, very small in relation to the large dollar.
What is it psychologically that if you had 4 quarters in your hand and you had that in your hand, you'd spend the 4 quarters without thinking about it, but you'd like, I'm gonna put that back in my pocket?
Rarity. It's old to us. I mean, honestly, anything historical to me, I like to hold on to. I've got a bag of these sitting around everywhere. I don't know. It seems like you've got something that's so common as a quarter. But then when you do find one of these Eisenhower, even though I may, as a numismatic dealer, see them, I love watching people walk in and they kind of light up because they're like, I remember that dollar when I was younger. So
yeah, there you go. Well, man, it's been awesome. If you want to check out Mike's eBay account, he changed his name to something that is much easier to remember. London Coin Kentucky.
Yeah.
London Coin KY. And so if you want to go on eBay and look at London Coin KY. That's Mike's eBay store, and he's got quite a few things on there. But you better go quick because everything he puts up there sells fast.
Very fast.
And so he's got some good stuff. I do think you have a 1909 SVDB up there for sale, don't you?
I sure do. Very good quality one.
Great quality. So if you're looking for a really rare penny, he's got one on there as well. You can also reach him at londoncoinbuyer@gmail.com.
Right.
And
606-401-7025 on my cell phone.
Fantastic. That's great, Brother Mike. Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, just thank you guys so much for everything, and I'm just very blessed. I'm very thankful for what the Lord's been able to do, and I'm very happy that not only have we been able to sell coins, but we've been able to help people here by giving them far above value of what they thought they were going to get, and it always makes you feel good when people walk out happy. So I just want to thank all of our customers.
Fantastic. Come on down and see him, okay?